Hello, and welcome back to Chicago Fae Part 2, probably Part 2. Chicago Fae Part 2, a Twice Rolled Tales production. Thanks so much for joining us. This is the tale of the Fae, folklore, and the World's Fair in Chicago, 1893. We left our characters under some amounts of duress, incarceration, and heroics. Yeah, so if everyone wants to give us a brief recap of where your character was, hopefully we'll do a fun montage. But, you know, maybe we'll just tell you.
So Spitz is currently gripping onto the leg of Mora, whose last name I do not know. Does she have one?
Brady.
Well, Mora Brady. Yes, you did say that. The leg of Mora Brady, after having been trapped under a Ferris wheel because a talking rabbit told them it would be a good idea to take off some bolts and trade them for, I guess, like post-show close-ups with the horsies from the Wild West show.
Yep. That went critically wrong.
Yes, it did. A 1 in 100 chance to bring that Ferris wheel down, and boy did it come down, much like the walls of Jericho.
Very catastrophic. Completely catastrophic. Where is Phineas?
Phineas came here with two goals: stop the Ferris wheel from having a massive structural malfunction, and stop the cold storage facility from lighting itself on fire. Not only have both those things happen, but Phineas has managed to make himself the prime suspect in both occurrences, and is currently in a detainment facility by Fair Security as a result.
Yep, that's where he is.
Yeah. Marion ran over to the Ferris wheel as soon as she found out that things were kind of going wrong, and is currently capturing possibly the biggest story of her career, this horrible fair occurrence going wrong. And so she's been trying to get a handle on what's happening here, and specifically looking to talk to Spitz, who was trapped underneath the Ferris wheel.
And Mora is, after receiving a letter written on a scrap of the Buffalo Bills Wild West show pamphlet, claiming there is a child who looks kind of scrappy, no further instructions, went on a wild goose chase and happened to spot said child under a Ferris wheel, claimed that the child was her own, named Jimmy, and got Buffalo Bill himself to help her rescue her child. Now they are running from this reporter and hoping that she does not ask any more questions.
She's got a lot of questions.
As the Ferris wheel tips closer to disaster, you all can now see a black plume of smoke rising from the cold storage. What's Mora, Ed, Spitz? What are they doing?
Booking it.
Absolutely booking it.
I'm like, we're gonna go to my shop. I tell them none of this, but I'm like, we're gonna go to the shop. We're gonna unpack this. I'm gonna figure out what this is all about. Why I was led to you specifically.
You were what?
Don't worry about it.
That's usually what I tell people.
We're gonna unpack it in a minute.
Unpack what though?
Like we're gonna discuss.
As you guys are saying this, a kind of lanky man, wearing like a very tan suit with a very tall hat, kind of with it pulled down around his ears, rushes up to the both of you and crouches down by Spitz and says, "Child."
Excuse me?
Yeah, Spitz is gonna kind of like behind Mora's leg.
Give me an investigate check.
That's a 20.
Incredible. You look into the eyes of this man, and it is the same eyes as the rabbit that was talking to you, as the hare. The same eyes that stare out into dead space. So, do you have the bolts? You have just done me,
Is Marion still here?
Yeah.
She's still following us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Marion's absolutely here. She sees this kind of like large man approaching the small child, and just kind of nudges her way in and says,
"Stranger danger."
Excuse me, who might you be?
Oh, I don't give out my name. Hello, hi. Excuse me, I'm in the
Sorry.
middle of some business. I had to deal with this young child
of the press.
here. And
there's been a disaster, so I'm just trying to get accounts of where everyone was and how and where. So I do need your name.
Sure. Anyway, so, child.
Excuse me.
Do you consider calling? Yes. Hi!
Hi.
Marion, sorry, I'm a bit shaken up. Sorry, Mora. Yes.
I'm
Hi.
sorry. No, I don't believe we've been introduced. Do you
No.
know my son somehow?
Yes.
Interesting. Can I make an occult check?
Absolutely.
Just see if I notice any of this. It was a 4.
Yeah, you look at this tall, lanky fellow who, although in stature is completely different from Jimmy, this guy just oozes Fey energy, just radiates it, and very similar to Jimmy. And you notice his otherworldly eyes and his hat pulled down over his ears. Yeah, totally the Fey.
And you said you had some sort of deal?
Yes, with young child
I'm
here.
Jimmy.
But he now.
Pardon me, what kind of contract are you making with an, 9, 10? How old are you?
Don't ask me questions.
Just trying to help here, darling.
He says, sorry, I now owe you a rather large favor, and I'm just hoping we could call it even.
No, if you owe him a favor, he gets a favor. That's how it works.
Well, if he's gonna fulfill the terms of his deal, he can do that, or we can trade favors. Either way, sorry.
Why don't you meet us at another time? I sort of glance at her and I'm like, where people who don't know what they're doing or aren't around kind of vibes.
Yeah, he
trying to get him don't involve the humans kind of thing.
Yeah, he looks.
You know where my shop is, presumably?
Yes. And he looks at you and at Spitz and at Marianne, and you can tell he's been visibly shaken by presumably the events of the wheel going down, but you don't know. And you can see he's sort of flustered, and he comes back a bit to himself, and he looks kind of at Marianne a little bit deeper. Give me an investigation check.
We make that.
Incredible. As you look at him, you catch his eye, and it is a deep, penetrating, unearthly gaze, and you kind of lose time for a sec. It skips a little bit, and you come back to yourself. This is strange.
Mm-hmm.
This has not happened to you in terms of meeting someone. Mm-hmm. And as he's kind of completing that appraisal of Marianne, and as she's coming out of it, you can see he kind of goes, of course. He says, apologies. Yes. I don't think I'll be able to come. But obviously Jimmy knows where to reach you. I think you and he have some important business to discuss with just everything that's happened today. Yeah. Sorry. I'll let you guys be. Remember.
See you later.
Yes. And as you see he walks away, he kind of chucks the card over his shoulder, and the second you guys kind of lose him in the crowd, and he's gone.
Spitz is gonna kind of try to pull Mora away from Marion. You know the rabbit?
Yeah, I think I know what he is.
He's a rabbit.
Among other things.
I think his ears are under his hat.
Yes. And we are gonna go back to my shop, and you can have whatever you want. You've been just such a good boy today, Jimmy. You were so brave. As we walk away.
Give me a listen check.
Yeah. Sounds good. Oh, we make that.
Absolutely.
Mora talking straight out of the child abductor script. Come to my shop. You can have anything you want, child.
So you guys are walking.
What's your name?
Mora.
Spitz.
Nice to meet you. Good to meet you, kid.
So you guys are walking toward the shop. Is that you guys are continuing?
Yeah,
to
we're
walk?
gonna head that way. Probably head down
Yeah.
on the main road.
Awesome. And then Marianne, are you following them?
Oh yes, absolutely. As I'm trailing, trying to keep up as fast as I possibly can, just kind of nudge my way in between them a little bit. Sorry, what did you say your name was? Spitz?
Jimmy.
I just heard you introduce yourself as Spitz.
It's a nickname.
It's a nickname.
I changed my name a lot.
All
Gotta
right.
mix it up.
But
Keeps things interesting.
right, but I'm guessing that Jimmy's not your real name either. Is that so?
No, it's James, obviously.
Ah, yes. And
Yeah, but it's boring. James is boring.
so what I just heard is you two just introduced yourself to each other. So,
Well,
care to explain?
because I had to tell Mom my new name.
Yeah.
You weren't acquainted with your child there, Mom.
Not with the new name. I mean, they change it like every week.
As you guys are talking,
Do I need to fail a persuasion check?
I think there's nothing you could say to allay. It's certainly
She
not
saw
that.
us shake hands.
Surely
and
not
you
that.
introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Mora. I am first name.
I'm Mommy.
You can now hear the fire engines from every part of Chicago start converging on the cold storage. It's clear like this is a bad fire and people are going to die. This is a calamity that's been in the works for months, if not weeks. What's Phineas doing as he can hear the wheel shrieking in agony
Yes.
and smell the
The
acrid
wheel is
smoke?
indeed shrieking in agony. Of the Phineas V and Ferris varieties. When last I had a moment, I was being babysat by Mr. Samuels, but I'm
Yes.
hoping that based on the two simultaneous catastrophes, he might have more important things to do as fair security than babysit me.
Give me a luck check.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I make that. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I'm alone in the
Yeah, you
shed?
you hear him walk out, kind of amble off after a while. So yeah, you think
Cool.
you're alone.
And I'm in a room, chair, door, window.
Yeah.
Okay. The way to get out of this that involves minimal potential job liability for Mr. Samuels is if I get out cleanly without breaking anything. So I'm going to attempt to pick the lock and get my way out.
Okay.
I'm announcing this because I have a 1% chance of being able to do that.
Okay.
Stranger things have happened this game.
I do not successfully pick
God.
the lock.
At a moment.
I would now like to put that chair through the window.
Really like 0 to 100 with this guy.
I would no longer like to be in this cell. This wheel's gotta roll. Like, can I make a throw chair roll?
No,
or-
you don't need to.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
regular.
Okay, I will then. I've got the paper that I was using to make my statement. I'm going to add a lengthy paragraph on how this should not be a reflection on Mr. Samuel's job capabilities. Clearly, this was extenuating circumstances, and I apologize for any inconvenience. You can please contact me. I'll give them my address back in New York so they can contact me to pay for the damages of the window. I'm really sorry to have breached their protocol, which I'm sure is in place for good reasons. I'll also make sure to include my statement from earlier about the cold storage facility. I'll leave all
And
of
they
that
have
there.
your badge, so they know
Signed
that
Phineas
you're.
B. Wheel, yeah.
they know you're a safety inspector from New York.
Okay, I'm gonna hop
Yeah.
out.
Incredible.
Do I have a sense from like Gerald and Co. like how known am I at the like does every guard in town look for me right now or
I think the name Phineas B. Wheel is probably known. I don't know if your face has necessarily been disseminated in description, especially with all the chaos going around. So as long as you keep a low profile, you're probably okay for now. But if you go around introducing yourself,
as Mr. Wheel of the Ferris wheel tragedy fame, yeah, maybe not a great idea.
yeah, probably not.
Cool. Okay. I'll hop out and just. I haven't actually seen either of these events yet, so can I make a brief like survey? I don't think I need to spot hidden, but like
No,
what is
exactly.
happening at both locations?
Yeah, so you see enormous plumes of black smoke coming from the cold storage. It's being swarmed by every fire department that can get to it. You see the wheel is now even more precariously leaning to one side. They're trying to balance it out by shifting people's weights around the gondolas and hanging weight off one side and only rescuing people in a certain area. But it's certainly pretty precarious.
Okay. And yeah, Gerald and Mr. Harrison, Mr. Green are probably back at the cold storage. Okay, I'm going to head towards the Ferris wheel.
Amazing. As you're walking toward the Ferris wheel, you spot Spitz covered in dirt, enormous amount of dirt, in the company of two women you don't know.
Oh, goodness, Spitz, are you okay? Did you get into...
Uncle Phineas!
Hi. Who...
Sorry, are you
is everything all right?
Yes,
What happened?
well, it's fine now.
Were you there at the
Phineas, brother mine.
You're responsible for this child.
So,
This is my Uncle Phineas. Man, just go with it.
yes, I know them. As
really?
in a familial way.
Are you certain? Because this woman right here has been masquerading as this child's mother.
This is my mom.
Yeah,
About the
which would
past
make her
hour.
my sister. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. All right. Phineas B. Wheel. Yes.
Mr. Jimmy, actually.
It's a family name.
It's my.
I'm Jimmy.
Yes.
Spitz is a nickname, right? That you gave him when he was but small.
Indeed.
Because he
yes.
spit all the time.
I forgot. You see, I'm from out of town. I haven't seen these two in some time, but
Right.
I'm
It's
very
so
happy to now
strange.
be reacquainted with them. Spitz
Yes.
and
Your sister,
my beloved sister,
Mora,
which I do.
is my name, in case you didn't get it earlier.
Do I need to roll for this?
Absolutely not.
So
Awesome.
Mr.
Phineas, you gotta be cool, man.
I
Gotta be cool.
listen. I'm sorry. We're all a bit scattered. I think the multiple catastrophes have us maybe in
Right.
more of a state than we would normally
You
be.
know, this child was trapped under a Ferris wheel until just recently.
I did not know that.
It just
Oh
happened.
my-
We had no way to contact you.
I got rescued by Buffalo Bill.
Indeed.
That does not strike me as the most important part of what's happening right now, but is incredible,
Does
and we will
feel like
circle
it
back.
is.
Spit. My niece nephew. What happened? Can you tell me what happened? Are you okay?
The Ferris wheel fell on me.
Due to systematic mechanical failure?
Yes.
It appears to be so.
And what happened? What protocols were in place? Is everything okay? You got out safely?
Obviously.
Reliant on the goodwill of Buffalo Bill?
Yes, and no one would have seen this child had I not, screaming and wailing, brought their attention to this, my child, trapped under the Ferris wheel.
Mora, darling.
So it sounds like so you're telling me that the systematic mechanical failure brought on by, the hubris of man and this entire fair and the clearly underdeveloped safety standards
Yep.
that have just apparently at a policy and governmental level been left kind of unmonitored were saved, and the current evacuation procedures are reliant on the goodwill of my beloved
Circus
sister
performers.
and circus performer and noted Wild West
Personality.
personality Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Who is,
Well, it
who is
wasn't-
in charge?
I cover
Who is-
Spitz's ears and I say, it was an actor playing Buffalo Bill in the Wild West show.
Buffalo Bill works.
What are you guys saying?
Who is leading the evacuation efforts? Who's
Why
in
would I know
charge?
that?
What protocols are in place?
Why
Is he
would I
still
know?
using the big words?
Yes.
Is everyone safe? Is there anything we can do?
They're
how should we
working
be
on it.
helping?
People are evacuating. That's the current procedure is evacuate. So our plan was to evacuate to the shop, which you remember where it is. But if you don't recall,
The
because
shop.
it's been a while since you've been in town, brother mine, I hand him a card. Stop by.
Yes. Barton? Bradley? What?
Brady!
Brady! Yes!
It's in like a cursive. He
Can you
can't
read this,
read.
Brady? I am. Okay, which makes me
Miss
Mr. Brady.
Brady.
I said Jimmy earlier, being reacquainted with my
Jimmy.
niece nephew.
Phineas.
Obviously, I'm married to someone else, and that's why we have different last names, because there's a child
Right.
involved.
That explanation would have made a bunch more sense, but
Stop.
I would love to find out your name at some point.
I'm so sorry.
my
I forget
Uncle
myself. I
Phineas.
hope you can forgive, given the multiple calamities happening around us.
Of course. of
We're
course.
all just very
But
shaken, and we'd
my
like to go
name
home,
is-
ma'am.
And you are.
That's not an answer, sir. Here, I will let you know who I am, and you can return the favor. How does that sound?
I certainly hope I can.
Great, awesome. My name is Marion Mudd. I am a journalist. I'm originally from Atlanta.
A journalist?
Yes, investigative journalist, actually.
Investigating what?
Investigating some possible wrongdoings and goings on about the fair. It's my first day.
Spitz makes sure to like move the mud around their face even more, so that they're not recognizable.
Yes. Clearly, at a policy and governmental level, right? I mean, I imagine after a calamity like this, the public might be inclined to scapegoat any given individual for doing they may or may not have been involved with. But clearly, I think any reasonable person, certainly an investigative reporter such as yourself, could see that this is the doings of the overall infrastructure and the kind of hubris of this fair as a whole and the underdeveloped safety standards. There were fires in June. This wheel was never safe. It's really...
Make sure she knows if she's a cop, she has to tell us.
Are you a cop? And I feel incumbent to tell you, not because I would know, that if you are, you don't have to tell us. That's a common urban legend, but it's not actually part of legal policy at all.
Are you for real?
No, that's true. It's not.
Listen,
Jimmy Spitz.
I kneel down to Spitz. I promise you, little Spitz, I am not a cop. I'm just here trying to figure out what's been going on and where and trying to find some answers. And, sir, while off the record, I absolutely agree with you.
Absolutely.
You have to know that you're talking hella fucking guilty right now, so please tell me where the hell were you?
No.
That's just how he talks.
In my talkings earlier with Mr. Green and Gerald at the cold storage facility, I noticed nothing but absolute apathy with regards to, I'm sure you're aware of the earlier fires this June? Please, this is an ongoing infrastructural issue, and you as an investigative journalist have to appreciate that.
I absolutely understand. At the same time, what I can see and what I have witnessed is that this child was left unaccompanied and was crushed under a Ferris wheel, nearly died, was left in the company of this woman who claims to be their mother. Is absolutely not, nor is it any way
She's my
related to
mom.
you.
I'm his mom.
Listen,
We can't even agree on pronouns for this child. Like,
as you guys are walking, you notice you're drawing closer and closer to the cold storage. What did you?
I was wondering if, well, I guess she now pointed me out, but like while they were in like a heated conversation, can Spitz and I make a sneak check? And try to scurry, but now she's sort of like redirected attention to us. So
on the next
wait.
moment, yeah. Let me know when you want to try to do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so you notice you're getting closer and closer to the cold storage.
There is nothing to be done now. It already happened. Oh, okay, but I will as if we get close enough that like I can see the building. Are there people in the ice skating rink, or are people mostly evacuated? What is the current situation?
The ice skating rink is internal. You see people streaming out of the building, but the fire itself is not in the building. It's not the refrigerators that have started a fire. What actually you look up as caused the fire is what you noticed initially, which is that the chimneys have this decorative covering that is extremely flammable and extremely close to the heat sources. And so the roof itself is ablaze. So you see firefighters are up physically on the roof, attempting to slow the spread of the fire so that those below can escape. And you've seen a lot of fires just in your time as inspector. New York has a lot of fires. There's a lot of wood. There's a lot of industry. And you can see the way that things are starting to burn out of control. And those firemen are doing everything they can to save people, but you don't know that they're all going to make it.
Oh, jeez, there's nothing. It's too late. I didn't get here in time. They didn't. Guys, we can't be here. This is dangerous.
You think you could have stopped that?
Yeah, there were fires in June. It was a known infrastructural issue. But the apathy of the apathy of policymakers, including, I mean, I hate to say it and I hate to implicate those who I'm sure are just cogs in a larger infrastructural issue, but people like Gerald and Mr. Green, the attendants of this very institution seemed truly apathetic to the dire situation, and it's just tragic that it had to come to this. Oh my gosh. Do I see Gerald or do I see any fair staff around, or is it all firefighters at this point?
You see some fair staff kind of directing people away, yeah.
Okay, I really think that we shouldn't be here. It's too late and it's not safe.
Right. I think that might be best.
You can see the firemen attempting to starting to rappel down. They're giving up the building for lost. And some of the ropes are starting to burn through.
Yeah.
Marion takes out her camera and starts like snapping a couple pictures as well.
You catch one falling to their death.
Great, awesome. Did I make a sanity roll for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone who sees that makes a sanity roll. Yeah, this really. Yeah.
We all
Yeah,
see that?
if you all are actually, let's resolve the sneak attack.
Yeah,
the sneak check
because
first.
we were attempting to
Yeah,
sneak
so as
away.
No,
this
I rolled an
happening.
80. Like,
So,
it was a no.
Is Spitz attempting to sneak away independent or is waiting?
I think I was attempting to sneak away with Mora.
Okay, then.
Spitz thinks she's very cool. This is the first time an adult has ever told them to lie.
Amazing. Yeah. So no, you don't. Yeah, you're not able to sneak away. You notice that Marion is still kind of looking around. And so would Spitz and Mora be looking up at the building at this time?
I think especially if we're watching her very closely to try to see when we can sneak away, and we see her take out her photograph, like her camera, like I would look.
I would say
just to see.
Yeah, I would say Spitz probably wouldn't. Yeah, probably wouldn't. But
Spitz is like scanning for exit points.
Yeah. So the three adults give me sanity checks for that.
I passed.
You passed.
Lamenting how much.
I passed.
I got a 16, so I'm not re-rolling much. Like,
Yeah. No, I mean, this probably isn't the first time at least you two have seen something like this happen. If you are both at the epicenters of calamity and disaster in the industrialized sectors of a city. So, yeah.
The safest protocol at this point is to let the professionals do their job, and as civilians, we should really just be as far from the area as possible.
I agree. That is the safest thing to do, is to take my child that I gave birth to back to my house where I live with them.
Mora, darling, you're fooling nobody. Absolutely nobody.
I want to go home.
Yeah, I'll just like start backing away from the fire, but like I'm looking towards these two because they seem like they have more of a plan.
So you've walked by the fire. So Mora's house is right over here, so you can reach it. Yeah, go for it.
It's like a little shop that is also a house.
And there's technically cross streets running this way, so you can move in here. I just didn't draw them. So, yeah, so you can if you want to, like, go up and down here, sort of.
Oh.
These are just kind of vibes. Well, it's actually technically because these streets that are drawn have entrances into the fair, and that some of them that aren't drawn don't. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so you can.
It's the parade route.
Yeah, honestly, exactly like that. Yeah, so you continue. Yeah, you can continue toward the shop, passing by the cold storage.
Actually, I think Marion might stay back and just because there's very actively things happening at the cold storage that she has not really seen yet. Yeah, she'll go up to Mora. Where'd you say you were going?
Back to our home.
Right.
And my shop. It's the same place.
Could I get one of those cards you gave that gentleman earlier? I'd love to catch up with you.
I can't think of a reason why not. That's smart.
Thank you.
As soon as we're
I won't be long.
off like fair grounds, Phineas is gonna start blabbing.
I mean, I would say so. You are.
Wait, are
the,
you?
the
Wait.
question is
this
whether
impli-
Marion is still with us when we
This
leave
implies
the
that
official
Phineas
fairgrounds.
has not already been blabbing.
I would say to walk by the cold storage and then leave the fairgrounds is the same area.
Okay.
So you would definitely be in the same area.
Yeah.
You
It
know.
is successful or not, it is eating Phineas that he lied to a reporter. And as soon as we're like out of sight of potential fairgrounds employees, as if Marion's still there, he'll correct the record. But I don't know how quickly you were planning to leave, or
Amazing.
if you'll leave the fair at all with
Yeah,
us.
I think like kind of when we're at the crossroads here, she'll kind of split off for a minute.
Yeah.
Just say like, I won't be long. I just need to talk to a couple people at the fire here, but I would love to talk more with you all.
And where do you work?
I'm around. I'm a reporter, so I'm.
For what outlet?
I've been hired privately, actually, by Mr. Pendergast, I believe.
Okay. And
He's a distributor in the city.
Is there an address? I think there's so much dialogue to be had here about the infrastructural issues, and I really
Of course.
And it's
I would love to continue that conversation at a more appropriate junction.
Yes.
Absolutely. You'll be at your sister's shop, yeah?
Yes, I
your
will.
sister's
I
shop.
will be at that.
Great. Well, I have I have your card.
Stop by anytime that is after now. Anytime. Well, we close at 8, but I live there. It's fine.
I won't be long. An hour most. But I will be glad to talk to you all then.
Amazing.
The
Spitz.
second we're split off from Mary, and Spitz is gonna look between these two adults who, by the way, make it so much harder to be sneaky when you gotta drag them with you. And it's just like, you guys are terrible at this.
I was so much better at this morning. I cannot emphasize that enough.
Absolute amateur hour.
It all went wrong.
Yeah, man, because you kept talking.
No, not the conversation with the reporter.
Oh, well, that did go really wrong. You're a bad accomplice. We gotta work on that.
The Ferris wheel is destroyed. The fire, the whole cold storage facility is destroyed. It's all Spitz. None of this mattered. It's all for naught.
Well, I don't know about the cold storage, but the Ferris wheel's all cause of the bunny.
Yes, let's discuss that. Where and how did you meet this bunny, and what exactly did you two say to each other?
Okay, so I was under
pulls
the
out, like, a little
bleachers
notebook.
at the Wild West show, and they were doing somersaults on top of the horses, which was really cool.
So
and I was eating my popcorn, because when you sit under the bleachers, then a lot of times people will drop popcorn, and you just kind of like, it's like rain, you can catch it, and then you just free snack.
It's really not.
And
Has
then,
penicillin been invented?
No.
I think it has.
Has it? Nearish.
Probably a booth at this fair.
Oh, I'm thinking of just vaccines.
I want to say penicillin was like, I think it was 1927.
Yeah, it feels like
Vaccines is
Maybe
like
a trivia
1820.
Yeah.
autocorrected to when was Panic in the Disco. 1928.
Okay.
You're
So
off.
close.
Okay.
and so but then there was Bunny Rabbit, and the bunny asked for popcorn, and so I gave the bunny some popcorn. And
Sorry, this was an adult or
No,
another child?
no, there was a bunny
It
rabbit.
was a rabbit,
It was-
obviously.
Yeah,
Catch
it was
up.
a bunny, and it talked and asked me for popcorn, so I gave it some popcorn, and I was like, "You're a talking bunny," and it was like, "Yeah, can I have some popcorn?" So I gave it popcorn, and he said, "You know what has a lot of bolts on it? The Ferris wheel, and we could trade bolts for time with the horsies." And I was like, "That's a brilliant idea," because I trade bolts to Vito up in New York all the time for sandwiches. So I never realized you could trade it for other things. So I was like, cool, I'll go get bolts.
Spitz, can I ask you a couple questions? And these are very important.
Okay.
You did talk to someone.
Yeah.
You're not making that part up. It's okay. I won't be mad if you went and got the bolts of your own volition.
The person
You did talk to someone.
Yes, I talked to the
They
bunny.
conscripted you to do a task in exchange for goods and services.
Yeah.
So, as a child in this country, you have rights, and child labor is part of a larger endemic issue that we have. I mean, clearly there's larger kind of resultant repercussions at hand right now, but I think it's important that you know you never need to be forced or subjugated into a
Look,
position
man,
where
it's
you
been
need to
a long
perform
time since I've been
tasks
offered a deal
for-
that sweet.
What?
Handful of bolts
I'm
for
sorry, do
some
you-
clothes.
and he used the word deal, just like he did. I saw this individual. He revisited us after the Ferris wheel, and Spitz and I became acquainted.
This individual-
Mora,
Wait, so
Brady.
this was an individual?
yes.
Phineas B. I'm sorry, I can't deceive you. My name is Phineas B. Wheel.
No,
I-
I'm fully aware that you're not my brother.
No. I know that you know that I'm not your brother, but I almost gave you a fake name right now. It's a longer story that I'd be happy to tell you later. It has not been a great day. You're saying this was an adult. The rabbit that Spitz refers to is an adult man
Yes, he is
who
many
negotiated the
things.
terms of a contract with a child.
Yes.
That is a federal crime.
More
Spitz, can you tell me the
specifically-
terms of this contract more specifically?
He asked how many bolts I could get, but then he asked how many bolts I could get without being seen, and so then I said that was a different number. So I said I could get 16.
Bolts.
Yes. Bolts.
Acquired from
The Ferris wheel. So I said I could
via
get
forcible removal?
So I said I could get 16
Spitz,
bolts.
You removed bolts from the Ferris wheel.
Well, I'm not there yet. So I said I
Phineas
would
has
get
stopped walking.
So I said I would get 16 bolts. And he said
You took
I bet-
16 bolts
No,
off
I,
of the
I
Ferris
did,
wheel.
and I pull out a handful of bolts. I said, no, I took 8.
I'm gonna make a sanity roll at seeing those bolts.
Can I make an intelligence roll to put this together?
Yeah.
30. Oh, I make it.
Yeah.
I passed
I make
that
a hard-
sanity roll by 1 point. I got a 70 and I rolled a 69.
Hanging on
Phineas is at his last thread.
by a thread. Yeah. So no, it is pretty obvious what has happened here.
Yeah, I've figured. I've worked out between.
So you
I'll
were
explain
you
it
were
to Shawn.
contracted by this individual to remove bolts from the Ferris wheel.
Yes.
Who is this man? This is a case of domestic terrorism. This is
Cannot get into that right now. It is
You realize you are approaching the store, and across the street, a large black cab horse is sort of just standing there. He's not attached to anything. He's got like a very loose approximation of a bridle and saddle on, but he's really just standing there.
Can I make an occult check?
Yeah. Give me an occult check as well, Spitz, and
big 5% occult check coming up.
A 38 is a pass.
or a spot hidden. I guess a spot hidden as well.
Spot hidden? Okay, I'll do spot hidden instead.
Yeah, big fail on the occult check.
Ooh, that's an 8.
Ooh, that's my boy.
I do see the horse, but I don't know it's a cult.
You see the horse. You notice it has the same ears, the same ear shape as the rabbit. It's got like, you don't know what it is, but it has the same vibe. Its eyes, instead of being windows into time, like the hair eyes, it's more like they're just like kind of subtly aflame behind their eyeballs. Wild stuff.
That's not the rabbit, right?
Your occult check. This is Jimmy. This is 100% Jimmy.
I think they're brothers, maybe. This one's my responsibility.
This.
Or I'm his in a way. It's hard to say.
I'm sorry. This one being
That's Jimmy.
the
I
horse.
thought I was Jimmy.
Right. This is the original Jimmy.
The horse.
Yes. Horses have names. What
And-
universe
no,
are you
It's
from?
the rabbit's brother.
The horse is the brother of the man that conscripted Spitz to break the Ferris wheel.
Who is also a rabbit, yes.
Yes.
I don't understand why I'm being looked at the way I'm being looked at right now. I'm gonna say this one more time. The brother of the horse, named Jimmy, is the man that conscripted Spitz to break the Ferris wheel and endanger the lives of hundreds of civilians.
Can
Possibly for more
Can
than
I
that.
say that I have like a little pocket full of popcorn left?
Yeah.
I want to take out the pocket full of popcorn and go try to feed it to the horse.
Oh, this is great. The horse is very happy. Just like big schnuffles.
This is exactly what Spitz was promised for getting those bolts.
Don't say that out loud.
I didn't say.
Okay.
Miss Brady?
Mora reading your mind. Don't open your mouth, kid. Or yes.
Miss
How can I
Brady?
help you?
Please understand, I don't mean to come across as condescending or demeaning in any way. That is a horse.
I understand.
That
May I show you my shop? It might clear some things up. And I gesture
feel like
behind me.
there's so many important things happening right
Well, I
now, and
gesture
browsing
behind
your
me.
shop of
to Boston
goods
Brady's
and books.
mystic messages and occult objects.
Miss Brady, I don't mean to disrespect you or your shop, but I'm far more concerned with the 100 of lives endangered and the child endangerment and child labor.
The horse gives a wicker and just sort of uses its enormous head to shove you into the door. It kind of like headbutts you.
Thanks, Jim.
Horse sounds.
Spits pets the horse
little
before
soundboard.
going inside.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you guys go inside. And
Yeah.
Yes. So I shut the door behind me.
Incredible.
and I'm like,
Let's bounce back to Marion now, as you guys have entered the shop. What's Marion up to?
So Marion, having like heard all of this like account from Phineas, did we ever actually give Phineas's name? I realized.
No, I called myself Mr. Jimmy, Mr. Spitz, and
But
fumbled
also,
a lot.
Spitz said Uncle Phineas.
Yeah, no, you first
got
name's
Uncle
Phineas,
Phineas.
you
Okay.
certainly got.
Yes.
Cool.
You never got the bee or the wheel.
Cool. Sorry.
I'm one
making
Mr.
clear.
Phineas Jimmy.
Phineas Jimmy. Okay,
It's a
great.
family name.
So
It's a
wow. Having gotten all that information from whatever
I think
his
I said
name
it was
was.
Mr. Brady also to try to cover for this nonsense.
Yep. It was just
Got a
about every
collection
name
of
under the book.
surnames, and clearly none of them true.
Yeah, she wants to go a little bit over to the refrigerator, cold storage center, and try to track down Green and Gerald, who apparently were very apathetic towards past fires, and that just seems
good.
not great.
I like this. Wait a minute. With the copiums alive.
Yeah, so you see so this is the cold storage right here. You see large crowds of people are gathered sort of here and here. They're trying to keep people away from the train tracks and keep lanes open for fire. But yeah, I mean, this is also drawing a huge crowd because people want to see what's going on. Yes, you see a large crowd here. You see a man in like a round hat and a green jacket kind of gesturing people like, all right, everyone, stand over here. No, ma'am, I'm sorry. Your purse does not exist anymore. I can't. Ma'am, I cannot let you go back into the building. No. Please. Would you like to talk to the manager?
Pardon me. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Are you? I won't say responsible. Are you part of this? Do you work at this establishment?
Well, not anymore.
All right. Sorry, I should introduce myself. My name is Marion Mudd. I'm a investigative journalist covering the fair. And you are?
Green. Jeffrey Green?
Jeffrey Green. Pleasure to meet you. That's perfect, Mr. Green. I just ran into maybe someone that you might know. I think their name was Jimmy maybe, or Phineas.
Phineas B. Wheel?
Quite possibly. Gave me about 5 different surnames.
Tall,
but he mentioned
wearing a suit, skinny as all heck, just
That's
won't
the
stop
one.
talking.
That's the one.
Just won't.
You got him right
will
on head.
not stop.
Absolutely.
Ma'am, last I heard, he was in the police lockup under suspicion of tampering with the refrigerators in this here cold storage. So
That's interesting.
When did you run into this man?
Oh, it was earlier in the day. I can't quite remember. There's been all that commotion over by the Ferris wheel, and
we're worried that he was involved too. He said some things while we were at the police station that made us want to take a second look there.
right, absolutely. He really just can't stop talking, can he?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's on.
I don't know how he manages it.
You know, sorry. Can I help you?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm covering the fair for Mr. Prendergast. He's a newspaper distributor here, and we're just trying to.
Ever heard of him?
Oh, no worries at all. I hadn't until a couple weeks ago, but we're just trying to understand kind of the goings on at the fair, and it seemed like this fire was maybe precipitated by some fires last month. I wasn't in town yet, but I heard all about them.
Yeah. Well, I kept saying something like this was gonna happen, but I never believed it was gonna.
You kept saying that?
No, they kept saying it, but
I see.
I just work here, so I assumed it was fine.
I see. And was anyone like involved in like the planning of the fair? Did they take any precautions to make sure this didn't happen?
Mr. Green says, as he's saying this, it's like a hand kind of descends on his shoulder, and you see another kind of more severe, angular man say, hey, Mr. Green, what did I say his first name was?
Jeffrey.
Narrowly avoided a Jimmy.
We came close. Says, Jeff, who's this lovely young lady right here?
Marion Mudd, journalist. Nice to meet you.
Gerard Carson.
Gerard Carson. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Jared? This is Jared.
Gerald. Or at least it was Gerald earlier tonight.
Carson.
It was Gerald now. Gerald, yes. Carson. Gerald Carson. Sorry, Jeffrey, do you want to continue to help out? I think I probably should take over from here. You look like a journalist. No offense.
I don't know whether that's supposed to charm me or not, but I'll take it.
Great. Yeah, sorry. Can we help you? We're in the middle of an enormous catastrophe that has ramifications for the entire fair and public safety.
I appreciate your time. I'm just trying to understand if any precautions were taken to make sure that this fire didn't occur after the ones that were so devastating last month.
Says, this is a tragedy. I'm sure that if we knew it would have come to this, we would have done something differently. So I don't think I can talk about this further. As Jeffrey's walking out, she says she talked to Wheel, the guy in police lockup. And Mr. Carson says, sorry, did you talk to Mr. Wheel? Did he say anything? He's currently under suspicion for being involved in this.
Oh, we passed ways earlier today is all. Just very, very briefly, but I've kind of lost him in the shuffle with all the goings on with the Ferris wheel and this, of course.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
You understand. Sorry, just before you go, because I know you must be very, very busy. Do you know if Mayor Harrison's been made aware of anything that's been happening? If he's planning to step in?
Well, the mayor is very busy. He's always involved with goings-ons, but if you mean to imply he's responsible in any way.
Oh, I'm not implying that in the slightest. I'm just trying to understand what his plan is to move forward from this. It seems like this is his pride and joy.
He cares deeply for the fair. Sorry, I don't think I can talk about this any longer. Give me a psychology check.
Sure. We make that.
Yeah, so you can sense he's not lying particularly. Like, it's not like he's trying to necessarily cover something up, but when you say, is Mr. Harrison aware, you get the sense that Mr. Harrison is very aware. Like, this is related. Like, this touches a nerve, that he doesn't want you to know that he's trying to kind of downplay Mr. Harrison's involvement here.
Right. I totally understand. He must be a very, very busy man. I do wonder if there's a way I can, talk to someone in his office. If not to him directly, I just want to get his take on things. Because, clearly, as you know, this doesn't look good.
So I believe the phrase is no comment. You can find his office in the directory. Good day, ma'am.
I see.
Stalks off yelling at people as he goes.
I'll take a picture as he's walking away and back at the building.
Give me just a spot hidden.
Yeah. You also make that.
Incredible. You see him kind of talk to a couple of guys who are standing around, and you see one of them splits off and heads back in the direction where you first saw Phineas. So you don't necessarily know where the jail cell is, but it is in that direction.
Lovely. I'll follow.
Oh, okay. Incredible. Are you trying to be stealthy?
Yeah. I'm feeling like definitely arousing some sort of suspicion, so.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, we make it.
Yeah.
Doing well today.
Incredible. Yeah, so there's so much chaos going on right now. It would be hard to be spotted. So you make it, you watch the guy who kind of goes up to the police station behind, and you see him walk in and then immediately come sprinting out and run back toward Mr. Green and Mr. Carson.
Lovely. Okay. Marion's gonna take the knife that she has on her just kind of out, just to have, and she's actually gonna make her way towards the shop because I think she has some things to say to Phineas.
Okay, so go back to the shop. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do on the way while you're going?
Yeah, that's about it. She has so much to share with Prendergast, but not right now.
Amazing. Okay, so yeah, you head out, go shop. Let's pivot back. So you guys enter the shop. It is a dark candles everywhere, crystals everywhere. There is all manner of occult items. A lot of it perhaps recently manufactured and purchased.
There's a round table in the middle that has a crystal ball on it and like a little velvet thing and like chair. Like it's very ceremonial.
Spitz immediately runs up and puts their grubby little hands on it.
You can see they've left like streaks on it.
That's fine. Okay. So, I also have questions for you, but first, you're just gonna shut up and you're gonna listen for a second. You're just gonna assume that everything I tell you is completely true. I know it sounds insane. And I know it. But just five seconds. So I'm a witch, obviously, but I'm also like a witch. And I was given a note this morning, and I pull out the note and I give it to him, that...
On this potato sack.
No, that's the wrong one. Give him the Wild West brochure. I'm like, this alerted me to the presence of a child who was scrappy. I didn't know what to do with that information, but I'm not supposed to ask questions. So I went to the Ferris wheel, was directed there through other ways. Don't worry about that. Found Spitz, and so now they are in my care for some reason that I don't understand. I don't know anything about infrastructure. I cannot help you. However, I think I might know why, or maybe not why, but almost why the Ferris wheel needed to come down. You can go now.
You got this note from Buffalo Bill? It appears?
Oh, from Jimmy, the horse. He's my patron. He asks things of me, and in return, he gives me gifts.
You answered my question, and yet you did not answer my question.
You seem a lot nicer and more confused than a witch.
Are there...
Interesting.
Is that the only Jimmy? Is there a human Jimmy?
That's me.
There is no human Jimmy, nor is there a human rabbit that spoke to Spitz, but they are of the same people.
Someone wrote you this note.
Correct.
That person abducted Spitz? That person...
No.
That person cannot be the horse.
For
many reasons, but most notably the lack of horses' dexterity with pen and quill.
I get where you're coming from. I know this sounds insane. I know, but we don't have a lot of time until that reporter comes back, and we just need to get all of this straight.
Jimmy exists.
Yes.
Jimmy told you to find Spitz.
Not in so many words.
Jimmy has a brother. That brother convinced Spitz to ruin the Ferris wheel.
Yes.
You know, we met an evil wizard like yesterday.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I met an evil wizard yesterday.
You're
not an evil witch, are you?
Evil and good, it all kind of depends. I'm trying to put good out into the universe and, like, make sure that the universe gets that back to me.
Can I roll psychology to see if she's an evil witch?
Yeah.
Circumstances of recent both.
I have no points in psychology.
Well, her feet on the right way.
It's a
So
plus.
it's a start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's all you got going for you right now. And she did save you from the Ferris wheel.
I don't
So-
think you're an evil witch.
Yeah.
I don't think I am either. Thank you. You're a cool kid.
Oh.
Miss Brady, I pride myself on trying to find the pragmatic truth of a situation, but events of both
Doesn't
yesterday
exist.
and earlier today have led me to believe that in the first case, perhaps there is more to this world than meets the eye, and in the second, it is very possible for a completely rational person making completely rational decisions to end up implicated in events that they weren't involved in whatsoever. And I hope that that spirit of grace permeates this room going forward, if and when that should become necessary.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'd avoid a lot
My-
of those if you talked less.
My immediate concern is the person, the entity, Jimmy's brother,
Okay.
who
We can call him Harry.
Harry, yes,
Oh, that's good.
Harry forced the child to ruin the Ferris wheel and
No.
endanger hundreds of lives.
Very critically, Harry asked, did he use the word favor? He used it when we spoke later. He said, I owe you a big favor.
Your
He
quote was, "You
did.
got yourself a deal, bunny." I wrote that down. So, big deal.
Yes. Yes.
Favor or deal? Which was it?
He said bolts for horses, and I said you got yourself a deal, bunny.
Okay, that is a very neutral deal, actually. From your perspective, that's fine. You're a child. It's fine. So these
Precisely, that's a child. They cannot make legally binding contracts.
legally, yes. This is not an issue of legality. There's not a whole lot of legalese that we got to deal
With
with
all due
here.
respect, Bradley, I don't believe that there are any issues that aren't issues of legality. It's Brady.
Okay, so I'm going to talk around this because that's clearly the only way that you're going to get this. There are groups of people that live primarily in large cities that are outside the law. Not above it, just outside of it.
Yeah, the working class.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, continue. I'll
And
say
they
less.
make deals with people, right? Not the working class.
The mob.
Yeah, the mob. Yes, you're aware.
The bunny's a mobster.
Of the mob.
Yes.
In loose terms, yes.
Defending the workers' rights that you so fiercely fight for.
I do, indeed.
And sometimes the mob makes deals with people that aren't necessarily inside of, like, the legal purview of the United States.
Absolutely, and it's a travesty.
But those deals, they're good for. And when you fulfill your end of the bargain, they come through for you. And if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain, they're gonna come break your legs. So what I'm seeing here is my buddy Spitz,
Was
who has 8
exploited by the
bolts.
mob and was under duress when they broke the Ferris wheel.
and so we must protect this child at all costs.
We're on the same page.
Excellent.
We found common
Oh my
ground.
god, thank God.
As you're saying this, you hear crashings from the same back closet. And a man kind of totters out. He's wearing like a jet black kind of velvety coat, and he's got velvet horse ears straight like a foot up his head. He walks in and he says, Mara,
Clearly not.
gotta
familiar.
clean the closet out.
It's where I keep things, Jimmy. I don't know. There's a door. You're allowed to use it. You're not a vampire.
You've got to invite me through the door. You invited me through the closet, and you didn't. Why do you think I've been leaving it on your front porch?
Is that the only reason? I write that down. I'm like, okay, so that one checks out. Got it.
Well, I'm not gonna leave it in your closet. You never see it. You never clean the thing.
Oh, that's where I keep things.
Do we
Wait,
need to roll a sanity check?
There's like a
for the
lot
side-
that just happened.
at the side of Jimmy.
I got a number of checks I'd like to run, but tell me what I have to run first.
You definitely have to run sanity.
Yeah.
To me,
Just sanity just for the fact that this is what looks like a human but has rabbit ears.
as he turns
Horse
to
ears,
look
horse
at you, his eyes are just made of like it's not a dangerous fire. It doesn't seem like his eye, like it's not like his face is on fire and he's in danger. It's just his eyes are made of fire. But he just like looks at you and seems to see you just a little bit too deeply. So you need to give me a sanity check.
Can I do a spot hidden to tell whether this is Jimmy or not?
Yeah.
Like Jimmy the horse from outside? Okay, that'll be post-sanity. Big sanity check. I'm in.
Big pass.
Big, like, strong hard pass.
You gotta stop passing your sanity checks.
You know, okay.
No, this is great. But like the sanity mechanic, basically, like passing your sanity check means you're able to dismiss this and integrate it with your view of the world. So you're just like, horseman, okay.
Congenital disease.
I haven't made that check yet.
All right,
So I pass the sanity check, meaning that the presence of the rabbit ears don't convince me that he's
Horse ears.
a cult. Horse
yes,
ears.
essentially, yes.
But rather, I just, like, deformities exist. Maybe, yeah.
He's got a weird hat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we should not, on the basis of physical or mental deformities, patronize any citizens.
It's true, we shouldn't.
Priorities.
Given that I passed the sanity check, there's no way I'm gonna think to check whether that's the same clearly human as the clearly equine, like,
It
entity
does
outside.
seem unlikely.
Can I roll to see if I recognize that as the horse?
Absolutely. Do you think Spitz would roll a sanity? Because you get the same kind of look. But I mean, Spitz is...
Given the things that Spitz has seen earlier today and been like, oh, cool, this seems like more of the same.
It feels weird to ask you to do a sanity check because... it
He
just
talked to
feels...
his brother.
Yeah, this seems...
This
no.
feels like more of the
I
same.
just wanted to check in because technically, like, you should do a roll.
It's like
but,
there are
it
things
doesn't.
there are things that Spitz is afraid of, and this is.
I
these
think
are
just
not it.
being a child gives you massive buffs to your. I think that's what they're gonna call it. Like, I think there's a reason that Call of Cthulhu doesn't let you play children, and this is one of the reasons. And the other reason is like, it's hard to have horrifying shit happen to kids. But like, I think this is the other half.
Nerf kids, for real.
Yeah, kids are too OP.
Kids are resilient.
Let's go with it. Yeah.
So yeah, is this the horse? I got no fucking clue.
Yeah, he's got the
from a
same
horse.
black eyes and everybody, the same ears. And she's calling him Jimmy, so
And she called the horse Jimmy earlier. Yes,
she did.
I emphasized that was the original Jimmy.
Yes. Is this Jimmy?
This is Jimmy.
Hi, you can call me Jimmy.
I would have given you apples, but I didn't have any.
It's okay. The popcorn was nice.
Your brother owes him a favor.
I know. I was hoping we could work that out. I think Spitz also owes my brother.
Well, I have his bolts, and I take out the bolts.
You can see that Jimmy takes out like a little Bible pointer. It's kind of it's a little like that you follow along with on a page. Just like a little stick, and sort of pokes at the bolts. It's 1, 2. I see 8.
Well, they reached into my other pocket, and I put 3 more. Those fell out when Buffalo Bill pulled me.
Unfortunately, I believe the original count was 16, not a handful.
Half a favor then.
11/16.
Well, I think that...
Let's not get into the weeds here, man.
I don't know what does and doesn't matter anymore.
I think my
The one
brother...
thing I can calculate is the fraction that is 11/16. That's the thing that makes the most sense right now. Sorry, continue.
He says, I think my brother's willing to trade his favor for Spitz not completing the deal. I think just like clean slate. It's all fine.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Spitz fulfilled his end of the bargain, which was less about the 16 bolts that you can't touch and more about taking the Ferris wheel down. Is that correct?
I can touch them, I just don't want to.
Do it.
No.
You want some saltines, too? That's what I thought. Come on, Jim. I thought we were cool. I don't ask a lot of questions.
You can see his ears kind of like go back a little bit.
That's like the...
Yeah, exactly. He says...
My ears can't do that.
Do you want them to?
No.
No fun. Come on. It would be permanent. Didn't have to be permanent.
Think about you. Why don't we say this?
Sure. You've entered as the negotiating party?
She thinks about that for a really long time. I am now Spitz's guardian, as far as any of us are concerned. But they speak for themselves. However...
Nice. He gives like a nod at that, like, dodge.
Your brother,
Mm.
do they have a preferred name?
Yeah, you can pick one.
Harry.
Harry it is. Spitz has more than fulfilled their end of the bargain.
Brought down the whole wheel.
I'm
It was your goal, was it not?
so say I'm not gonna bargain for Harry, but not gonna say you're wrong, necessarily speaking. Can't speak for him, but it's just simpler, right, if we just call it all even.
Maybe. How about...
I want the favor, though, if we can get it.
I'm working on it. I delivered that basket for you this morning to cold storage. No questions asked.
No,
You
you
didn't look in it?
Sorry, you did what?
We'll get back to that. Perhaps, as a thank you, usually you leave things on my doorstep. I really appreciate that. This time, you tell me why. What spell or magical aura or whatever was the Ferris wheel preventing you from completing?
He says, it's a little more complicated than that.
I'm sure it is. Knowing you.
Look, I mean, you know I'm a gentle person of repute, but I don't know if you got the impression that, me and Harry we're not exactly the biggest fish in Chicago, right? And honestly, I heard you basically put up a little bit of a supernatural calling card. I thought it'd be fun, stop by. You weren't obnoxious or terrible to deal with, so,
We've had a fairly amicable relationship, Jim. I don't want to be like this.
Well, here's the thing. You weren't always running favors for me. Sometimes I have favors I've gotta fulfill. Sort of asked you to do them instead, because it was hard, or I didn't want to. I feel like I kind of have an obligation to tell you that you've caught the attention of the person I owed those favors to.
As of today?
Yeah.
As of cold storage or as of this thing?
Sort of both.
Great.
And I don't know if skipping town's an option. It might be too late. It's probably too late. But he's probably gonna be stopping by.
We got heat on us?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yep. Exactly. Right on, kid.
When you talk, you don't actually say anything.
That's the idea.
That's all that Spitz had to say about that.
Send tweet.
This is the elevated train? This is the L?
This is the central railroad. This is the elevated train here.
Cool.
Also, is Marion close?
Yeah, you're like, I mean, you talked to someone, you walked back, you walked here, so it's gonna take, figure this is like a 10-20 minute walk, so you probably got an hour of walking back and forth, all this stuff. So, like, yes, you'll be coming.
All right,
Take
sounds
in
good.
time until the end of this conversation.
Yeah.
And would you say this person is in town? They're
Yeah.
here for the fair, hanging out in...
No, they've been here for much longer.
Interesting. And they're more in the city area.
Yes.
All right, we're fine for now.
Yeah, so they've got certain agenda, and I think that given the events of today, they might be doing more of that. And I'm sorry. Like, if I could say I owe you one, this is me owing you not one. By telling you that
You could say you owe me one.
I could, but I'm not going to. You live delivering the packages.
I did,
Spitz
yeah.
got bored, and now they're stacking the bolts.
So, Harry still owes Spitz a favor, and if I'm quoting Harry, because he said it in front of me today like a fucking idiot, it's a massive one.
Yeah. That Ferris wheel was kind of fucking us all up a little bit. Like, the railroads are bad enough, but, like, that Ferris wheel, man.
It was a lot for you.
It was a lot, yeah.
I understand.
Well, I mean, I couldn't see him. That's kind of why I had me running packages up to that area. We were kind of separated.
By the railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal. I'll explain later.
Like, the railroad made it hard, and then with the Ferris wheel, it was impossible. So...
Interesting.
It's kind of the favor.
And what did cold storage have to do with any of that?
Well, remember the other person who...
Yeah.
Yeah. He had...
Who's coming to visit me.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not gonna name names.
You never do. Maybe you could
But,
name...
like, what is their name?
Well, I don't know. I know the name they go by. But I'm not gonna say it out loud. You don't say that sort of things out loud.
Yeah, that'll just make it worse.
But I will tell you that, if you hadn't delivered that basket to cold storage, maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you did.
I did because I was asked to. Was I not supposed to do that?
No, you were. You just did a really good job.
And he's coming to thank me?
Well, he wants you to keep doing a good job.
Cool. Are there any,
And also, I think he might be interested in the kid.
yeah, I'm gathering
Not
that.
a lot of children who can take down a Ferris wheel. As Jimmy is saying that, Marion comes to the door and hears the full content, like that full sentence.
I'm sorry. Did I just hear the child took down the Ferris wheel?
That's a bald-faced lie.
Okay. I've heard a couple different things now. Mr. Wheel, it's come to my attention
thank
that...
goodness you've learned. I'm so sorry. I promise you I'm not deceitful by nature, but at the time I thought extenuating circumstances afforded me a little bit. My name is Phineas B. Wheel.
Yes, I've
I'm
gathered
so
that.
sorry that I ever
So
told you
bad at
otherwise.
this.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've just become aware that you've been under detention all day for suspicion about not only the Ferris wheel and also the cold storage catastrophe, and now I'm hearing that this child is responsible for part of it.
Deny.
There was a large set of misunderstandings, which I did explain in my written statement. Which
You think I read that?
I guess not.
I'm not a cop, honey.
Look, there's a lot of, like, wizards running around that we have to deal with.
Wizards?
Cops are just, like, the last thing I mean, winter cop's not the last thing we need, but, like...
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand.
He's fully right. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Hello?
Hi.
I don't even know what
I'll make a
word it
sanity
is.
roll now.
Yep. Give me a sanity roll.
Oh, we just make that. She's a little taken aback, not expecting to see Jimmy, but...
That's Jimmy.
Jimmy, hi. All right.
This lady asks a lot of questions.
Don't answer any of them.
I'm a journalist.
Don't ask him anything you don't actually want to know the answer to. Don't ask him anything you want to know the answer to either.
Why is the sky blue?
Well, long ago, someone got real pissed off and stole all the other colors.
From the sky?
Yeah, he's been mad about it ever since.
I see what you mean.
Will not stop talking about it. Every time. He's like, look, I got him on, like, long-term loan, like, you know, during the morning and during the evening, and during the day, gotta turn him back in. Like, this is why you don't pawn things. Lose full property rights.
So you gotta make sure you have a fence. You get a middleman so that you're not the one pawning them. They can't be traced back to you.
But I think that's the problem. He wants him back, but he can't get him back.
Well, then whoever stole them did a good job, and maybe that's not their fault.
It's really easy to get the sky drunk. You know, you go up to the top of a mountain, big jug of whiskey,
I'm sorry. Are you insane? Are you actually? You're talking about people stealing the sky's colors right now when people are dying outside, and you won't give me any answers, and you won't give me any answers, nor you will, and I certainly can't get any out of you. What the hell is happening?
Should I go? Kind of warning delivered, you know, omens of doom.
Yeah,
End of
do you want
times
to, like,
upon you.
just point out some stuff on the shelf that I can use to delay any of this happening or whatever on your way out?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Witch is whisper.
What is that? Oh. Oh no.
What'd you
Fred,
roll?
The answer is no, I'm guessing.
What'd you roll?
What'd you roll?
100. Well, technically I rolled 3 zeros, which is better than a critical success in some measures.
Jimmy looks at you and says, you're great. You're great, Mora, but that is literally worth more than my life, my brother's life, and all of my other brothers' lives to tell you.
I'm really willing to risk that, though.
Be seeing ya. Hope you survive. Just be polite. Do whatever he asks. He will, like, burn down your world if you don't.
Burn?
Sorry, what?
I don't like that.
Bye!
He's speaking literally.
He, like, turns around and dives headfirst into your closet.
I shut the door behind him.
Jimmy?
Anything I say.
He's still. That's not Nexon.
No, he's gone. He's out of here.
That's a closet.
It's a secret entrance.
Thank you.
Spitz opens the door of the closet, displaying to everybody, including themselves.
Yep.
There's no one in
There's a
there.
sanity
Give me
roll.
check. Spitz, you can give me one.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do one.
We failed!
Finally! I also failed.
Great.
I'm just
Did
so
you
sad
pa-
that
you
Jimmy
mean-
has
I know what's happening.
Yeah, you don't.
I passed.
Okay. Give me a 1d4 sanity check.
That's a 3.
Okay.
It's a weirdly rolled 3, but it's a 3.
Sorry, give me an intelligence check. That was the other thing.
Both of us?
Yeah.
I passed that.
Past that.
I failed that.
Incredible. Okay, so
69.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so Spitz, you kind of, like, Spitz and Phineas, you both let out just kind of like a little bit of a shriek. Spitz, you're like, wizards, man. Magic horseman.
I'm like kind of pawing at the air, trying to see if I'll fall through it.
So this is weird, but, like, you don't fully conceive of what has happened. Phineas, so much has happened.
Yeah.
This is, you're like, wow. This hits different. This feels real. This feels like that actually happened.
And also, all of the tragedies I ever wanted to not happen that aren't even related to the supernatural also happened. Not a great day for the wheel.
Yeah. You lose your 3 points of sanity.
It's the first sanity point you've ever lost on
Yeah, that's the first time I failed a check.
Ugh.
In like 3 sessions of gaming, yeah. That aside, Miss Brady,
That's me?
I need to ask you what you delivered to the cold storage facility this morning.
I have no idea.
But you delivered
It
something.
felt like cans, maybe? It was kind of heavy. It was in a laundry basket. I put a towel over it to make it look like laundry, and I put it at the south corner. Southwest corner.
How did you come by this parcel?
It was left on my porch.
You delivered a mysterious package to the cold storage facility, which is currently burning up in flames and is now going to be reduced to ashes on the ground, and people are dying.
And you
and
did
you're not
not
asking
check
questions?
the contents.
I didn't... Did I deliver packages in June?
To that
Okay.
facility?
Am I putting those pieces together in this moment? I deliver a lot of packages. Have you heard the phrase, don't shoot the messenger? This is like that.
If the...
Look,
if the message is a flammable subject, the
How was I supposed to
messenger
know if it
is...
was flammable?
You did not check the contents of the package.
I was
that you
explicitly
delivered
told
to
not
the,
to.
The conflagration.
I was explicitly told not to. What do you want me to do?
Who is telling you not to check the contents of your packages? Who is telling you to do...
Jimmy!
Jimmy, who was just here and dove into your closet?
Correct.
Who is Jimmy? Who is...
He knows
how
the
does he
sky.
fit into
You were
this
made
picture?
to do this against your will?
No.
So, of your own free will, you brought a parcel to the corner of what is now a conflagration.
What?
Possibly.
And
Okay,
you've done this before.
so what part of the mob analogy that I formally explained to
You're
you do
working
you
with
not
the mob?
understand?
No, she works with wizards.
I work with wizards.
Am I to understand
A mob
that
of
this is in the same roundabout way as we discussed with... What are we calling them now?
Spits.
Spits. Spits?
Your name is Spitz.
That's what they want to be called.
Yeah.
Spits.
Okay, great. Is anyone actually related to Spitz?
No.
That's my Uncle Finny.
Happy to... Far more important at
Obviously
this
not.
current moment.
God.
In the same roundabout way by which Harry, Jimmy's brother,
Correct.
is responsible for the fact that Spitz removed bolts from the Ferris wheel.
Correct.
Harry is also responsible for the fact that you delivered possibly the arson components to the cold storage facility.
Jimmy works for somebody else, and that person asked Jimmy to deliver those components.
And that person is Harry.
What? No, that person is me.
Jimmy works for you.
No, I work for Jimmy,
Yes.
and I entered into the deal knowingly, and also knowing of the consequences should I not fulfill my end of the bargain.
And what might those consequences be?
Who knows?
You know. You just said knowing the consequences.
Not specifically.
What might they be?
It could be anything from just put my insides on the outside. It could be just like rainy weather all the time. It could be any number of weird things that I have no idea what it could amount to, because in the last 6 months I have discovered just how little I know. I've been faced with that.
Miss Brady, I am prepared to trust that you did not knowingly commit arson on the cold storage facility.
Correct. I have no idea what I delivered.
Leaving that aside, arson did indeed occur at the cold storage facility, is what I am to surmise.
Yeah.
And the person responsible, in a roundabout way, using you as a pawn, is...
Jimmy didn't say his name. He wouldn't give us his name. You were here for that conversation, were you
And
not?
he's not the same person as
Harry?
Harry.
No, I'm getting the impression that Jimmy and Harry are both pretty low level on the totem pole here.
Okay, the mob underlings compared to the mob boss.
Correct. Who is on his way here to thank me for the job that I have done.
He's coming here.
Yeah, but
At which point
he
we can hold him responsible for both the arson and the destroying of the
But
Ferris
he's
wheel.
not going to be able to get here because he has to cross the railroad to get here. So he's probably going to wait for me to leave and go back into the city.
Why can't he cross the railroad? I don't understand.
Because he couldn't touch the bolts?
Give me an intelligence check.
90. My intelligence is pretty high. Can I push it?
Yeah,
Like, what is
absolutely.
this for?
This is your knowledge about the maps and the railroads.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I push it.
Yeah.
If your intelligence is that high.
How would you push it? You could like spend more time. You could pull out a map of the railroads, like kind of search for more information on that.
I guess I would do that. I'm not sure why I would do that. I'm like, I can see the railroad from my door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if he's on this side.
Oh, he's in the city. Whoever's coming is definitely in the city. Not
And this is the city.
That's
what I was asking Jimmy. Is he in the... I should have said fairgrounds.
No, you understood this to be the city Chicago proper.
Okay, so he's over here.
Somewhere.
Okay. So yeah, I'll pull out a map properly and be like, oh shit, Jimmy, I said city, I meant fairgrounds. Fuck. Like, pull out a map I make it.
Yeah, so you know Buffalo Bill and where Harry was is here. And you can see there's sort of a triangle being made out of the railroad. So you think, like, this is the area that Harry got trapped in, and that, like, if you were trying to get to other areas, you might be able to do that. You just have to take a circuitous route along the railroad.
Okay.
Give me an
Can get
intelligence
here,
check.
it's fine.
And then Spitz, you were saying something about the bolts.
Oh yeah, can I
Just
make
me.
can I make an intelligence check to see if I like can put all that together?
Absolutely.
2 points off.
Can I
you
give
could spend
a
luck if you wanted
help
to.
action and
Yeah.
point out that I pointed out that he couldn't touch it,
Yeah, for sure.
and like
Yeah.
let
For
them
advantage?
re-roll
Yeah, for
the
sure.
d10 or whatever? Worse. Okay. Never mind.
I think you could absolutely explain everything if you wanted to. What was the result of your intelligence check?
I just made it.
Incredible. You are thinking about what Pendergast has been on about, which is not necessarily railroad safety, but specifically about elevating the railroads. Do you wonder about that?
There are two possibilities here in my mind right now, and my mind is a scrambled egg, but I'm going to try to lay them out. The first is that all of this calamity is due to systematic infrastructural issues and apathy by the people in charge of civic policy, and I couldn't get here in time
But
to fix it. And
also
for that, I will
wizards.
never forgive myself. The alternative is that organized criminal entities are behind arson and deliberate tampering with the mechanics. In which case, I will be able to forgive myself when and only when those entities are found and brought to justice. And I'm hoping you can tell me in truth that the second alternative is what's going on here.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a little column A, but like it's mostly column B is using column A to make it easier for column B to work, but also column B is made up of wizards, so I'm not sure how well the whole like judiciary system stuff is gonna go. We can bring them to justice in other ways.
What's
creatively.
a column?
We'll come back to that. You're Irish.
No.
Finnegan?
Phineas.
Phineas?
I didn't choose it.
Right, did your Irish mother choose it?
I don't think the surname Wheel is Irish as far as I know.
Well, that wouldn't be your mother's surname, now would it?
The point here is not that I'm Irish. I am fully prepared to help you in the way that you seem to know better than I at this moment how to appropriately bring those figures to justice.
Okay. So I need you and you to look around and just... This is so rudimentary and not even remotely helpful. But just look around at this shop and assume that while we stand in these four walls, everything that I say is true, and all of the things in the four walls are real, and not at all hokum used to drag tourists in and take their money.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but truth be told, I'm a little skeptical.
You just saw a guy disappear into a closet.
I've seen trick closets all the time. Every magic act uses them.
Yeah. The clash here between does the occult exist or not versus am I ever going to be able to like cleanse my soul from what else happened today because of that failed sanity check is landing on the occult right now. So I'll look around this store that I've never been in an occult shop in my life.
You,
And
Shawn, or
look- Phineas. And look for anything that seems as described, anything that looks non-hokey. Phineas sees a lot of what looks hokey.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a spot hidden? Is that a hard luck check?
What are you looking to be convinced about the occult?
No, I'm looking. Do you want to repeat those instructions?
Well, I mostly said that as like a mental exercise, so that all things going forward, when I start explaining things to you, I don't have to just re-explain
Oh,
everything.
that's not gonna stop. I regret to inform you. Wheelism is permanent.
And round we
Yeah.
go. So
Okay,
maybe
but
we're
so-
actually safer at the fairgrounds than we are here. But does anyone want a cup of tea before we leave?
you investigated the maps, right? Did you push that again? Or did you just...
Yeah, I pushed it, and this is the city.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that he can get here circuitously, so it might take a little longer.
Yeah, but you get the sense that, like, it really seemed like Jimmy thought that no matter where you went, unless you were specifically going to a safe place, if that makes sense. Like, just any random location was as likely to be unsafe, unless you were deliberately picking a location that would be inhospitable to Fae, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think Mora knows that crossing the railroad tracks isn't, like, permanent, but it will buy time.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, and that's all she needs at this point.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure we were
clear
on the...
Yeah, if we're sitting ducks for now, Phineas will pick a book fairly at random and really try his best to start digesting it. Because that is where this course of life has taken him at this moment.
Different thing. Incredible. Yeah, you pick up, what do you pick up? You pick up, Grandmother Spessie's Guide to Plants, You, and Your Changing Body.
I take the book out of his hand. I mean, it's mostly raspberry leaf.
Dr. Spessie?
No, she's fine. It's less hokum, but it's not magic, you know? It's more just, like, tea.
Yeah, not magic. I
not
know.
magic.
Yeah. Not magic, I know. Magic, I don't
So I
know.
go...
That's why we're here.
Oh, so are we in the shop, or are we in the room?
The shop.
I pictured the closet was in, like, a back room, but I guess it's all one area.
I think
we
it's,
didn't
like,
specify.
My understanding was it's, like, so you have, like, the main shop area, and then you have a back, which is still, like, moderately connected, but maybe kind of blocked off with a bit of a counter.
Like a curtain or a
yeah.
counter,
So it would be easy for someone to, like, from the front, jump into the closet visibly, but it's clearly delineated.
Okay, I go behind the counter, and I pull out, like, from the under the counter, I pull out, like, a much larger book, and I'm like, there you go. Don't read anything out loud.
Spitz kind of peers over at this very large book, but Spitz can't read, so they're like, I don't know what the fuck to do with that. So instead, Spitz looks around and sees a stack of pictures. Pictures make sense. Words are just for idiots who can't understand pictures. And is going to pick up a tarot card.
As you're doing that, the two others slide out of the deck as well, kind of like as you're pulling them. So 3 kind of slide out, including the one you picked up.
Do you want us to actually do that, or do you have cards that in mind?
No, fuck no. Pull them out.
Put your essence on the cards.
Is that? Did I do it?
Are you talking in character?
I mean, yes and no.
Sure, just put 3 out.
I flip them.
Mm.
Oh, wonderful.
That's the devil?
Strong start.
Oh,
The Wheel of Fortune.
The dice know, the cards know.
The wheel!
Oh my god. Inverted.
The inverted lovers.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I see this happening?
You see this happening, yes. So, couple things can happen. Spitz, you can attempt to interpret this yourself. Mora can interpret this for Spitz. And if you wanted to attempt to magically do this, or you could just give your interpretation sort of as like a luck check on the universe, see if you get vibes.
The past is definitely true already.
Yeah, and Call of Cthulhu has a mechanic where you can actually essentially ask for like an ideal roll or kind of just give yourself. I'm gonna say that like this vibe is sort of that.
Okay.
So it's you're not gonna get a specific question, but you'll get like a movement towards something. If you just want to do a luck check versus actually doing a spell to get a clear answer and a clear future prediction. So this would be the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah.
Spitz gonna pick up the devil card and go, the evil wizard!
That is one way to interpret it. Mostly it's either material force or temptation by material. I don't know if
Like
meeting
bolts?
like bolts or meeting horses. Seems like it might have messed up your past a little bit there, but I don't know if it's these bolts or if bolts are like sort of a recurring theme in your life that gets you into messy situations, but
I mean, that's not true. It's not true. Yours
as
makes
for
sense.
the Wheel of Fortune, that's more of like a destiny thing, a fate thing. It can be good fortune, depending, and that's what's happening now. I don't know if we were all destined to be in this room together, but I would say that Spitz is very much at the center of that.
Oh,
Of us being in the room together.
oh, okay.
Of the wheel.
I mean,
Does that have anything to do with Phineas? Because his name is Wheel.
I'm in a corner with my book.
I mean, you were also trapped under a literal wheel today. You could have died.
But this looks like really cool.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it means I'm gonna get rich, right?
Well, the future. That's your present. Are you rich
Oh.
now?
The bunny owes me a favor.
That is very true. The bunny owes you a favor, and that is wealth beyond imagining. However, reverse lovers, that's separation. What that means, I don't know.
From what?
Anything. Usually other people.
It's kind of just like, almost like a cat just sort of knocks the cards off the table.
I mean, it's just what they say.
I don't care.
It's only right like half the time. It's fine.
you said yourself half this stuff is all hokey anyway.
I mean, it's
so.
70-30 actually, but
Do you want to give me a luck check for like
Yeah.
the validity of your interpretation?
yeah, I pass.
Yeah.
With a 66.
It's kind of funny how if you know someone, predicting their past and present is pretty easy. And it's hard to tell if you're really just projecting Jimmy's warning on you, but it doesn't help that the universe is kind of indicating that you guys are going to be split apart as soon as you have been brought together.
It's very worrisome indeed.
So there are certainly, it gives you the sense that there are forces at work that are not at present obvious to you. Something's coming. It's starting to get more toward evening. So you can see the sun is kind of hanging lower in the sky. You've heard fire engines going back and forth for the rest of the day. And I think you now at the point of figuring out what to do with the rest of your night, where you'd spend the night, that sort of thing.
You guys are welcome to stay here. I've got the cot in the back, some like blankets we can lay out.
You got blankets?
Yeah, it's Chicago. It gets cold.
Everything's coming up spits.
I'll make a pot of tea, but you might be safer here. I don't know. I don't know if you're safer with me or not, but
Ms. Mudd, I'm almost embarrassed to ask, but I know that as early as earlier today, I was implicated in some of these events. And as a member of the press, I know it's your due diligence to investigate these claims. Should I be worried?
I'm trying to figure that out myself. Sure, Mr. Wheel. As far as I can see, there is no clear answer to this, but we are maybe working with people we don't even know who they are yet or what they want.
Phineas wouldn't hurt anyone. He's really bad in a fight.
That is true, Ms. Mudd. If it helps my case any.
I don't doubt it.
Sort of wish you did.
No, it's nothing against you. It's just, you can talk your way out of a pickle, I'm sure, but you can sure talk yourself into one as well. Anyway, all this to say, I don't really know what to make of this. And I think you might have some more answers that maybe you're not sharing. But I think this goes deeper than maybe any of us know.
For what it's worth, I think whether this is indeed nefarious acts of a mob or other entity, or indeed just resultant of the corruption at a policy level of perhaps Mayor Harrison himself or perhaps others in his office, I think the work of an investigative journalist can certainly shed some light on that situation, and we appreciate the time you spent with us thus far. And I for my case at least, hope you continue to help us in this endeavor.
Of course. Maura, could I pull you aside for just a second? Sure. Just kind of curious about a couple things. Thank you. So when you say you're working with people who are setting these sort of things up and who are seeking to destroy the cold storage and the Ferris wheel and maybe bring down this entire fair, do you know what their goal is? They didn't say.
I'm still working that one out myself. I know it has something to do with the Ferris wheel. That was a large cog in the plan, sort of gumming up the works of whatever they're trying to do. I don't know what's relevant and what isn't. It's very... When all of your information is only coming from the human world, it's very hard to tell what's important and what isn't, as far as the other worlds are concerned.
I understand. I know you're trying to commune with those other worlds, as you say, but when it comes down to it, we live in the human world, and there are a lot of people who I think would love to see this fair burn. And they would love to see
why
Mr. Harrison taken down. There are some who think he's a liar, think he's a cheat, think he is double dealing and a hypocrite. And
I mean, he's a politician.
Absolutely. But from what I've seen today, just what little I've seen, this seems like a perfect city that they're trying to create, that he's trying to create. And I get the feeling that it's all fake. It's all a facade. And I don't know who you work for. I don't know what they want. But if they want to bring this down, I want to know them too.
It's very admirable, Miss Mutt. And I appreciate your valor and your candor. Perhaps some suspension of disbelief, maybe in order.
I'll try
on
my
both of our
best.
parts. It's not entirely clear, and I understand that you're standing in my shop and you're taking great pains to meet me halfway here. I fully understand that, and I know it sounds insane. I know, and sometimes it is insane, and sometimes it is hokum, and we, as humans, have to sort through all the hokum to be able to see through the glamour, so to speak. But once you've seen through the glamour, it's hard to unsee it, right? To see the grime and the reality of the world. And you know that as a reporter. And now you're on this grand path for truth.
I saw in Atlanta. I saw my city rebuilt out of dust, and it was made of cardboard. And they say that everything is all right, and they say that they're in for a bright new future, but it's all just the same. And I know they will never understand just how fake it all is. So, what I'm trying to say is, I may not quite understand where you're coming from yet, but I know how you feel. And I am willing to suspend my disbelief. Just for a little.
Incredible. As this is all happening, what's Phineas and Spitz? What are they up to?
Phineas and Spitz have not slept in, like, at this point, about 48 hours. So, like, if they leave and, like, are talking in not loud volume for more than, like, 3 minutes, Phineas is gonna fall asleep on his large occult tome.
Is there like a fireplace at all in this place? Like,
Yeah.
I assume it's
No, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, there wouldn't be heating otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Spitz grabs one of the blankets that was offered. Goes and curls up by the fireplace, wrench hugged tight like a stuffed animal, and just immediately passes out, snoring so loudly.
Incredible. You come out to the two of them, passed out.
Cooked.
Well,
He's just like that. I mean,
oh no, I understand. Well, I could be getting back, but I don't know. Miss Punctuous is a fair walk away.
you're staying at Punctuous's place?
Yeah, it was all I could afford. I'm new.
No, I understand, and I understand Punctuous and her propensity for punctuality.
You know the woman.
Well, I offered the bed to Spitz, but if they're in the chimney, you're welcome to it.
Thank you. That's plenty kind of you. I think I might just take you up on that offer.
I sort of like show her to the like other closet that's more of just been like retrofitted into a bedroom. Like just a bed crammed in there, and it's
This is I think this might actually be bigger than my room. Not bad accommodation you have here.
it's luxurious now.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for letting me stay. And I apologize. I think we got off on the wrong foot earlier today, but
Sometimes, you know, a stressful situation like a Ferris wheel falling on a kid, you say what you have to get a kid out of a situation.
I understand.
And I'm not sorry that I lied to you, but I am sorry that I didn't do it better.
That's quite all right.
Apology.
Amazing. So you're gonna go sleep in the cot. Where are you going?
Well, first I'm going to Fey-proof the entire store.
Okay, incredible.
I assume it's part of my nightly ritual anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have confirmed that they do have to ask permission to come in. So that's very exciting news for Mora. She's written that down. She's making her own little book of like things that are now verifiably true.
Okay.
It's more than she had before.
Fair enough.
But just in case she, you know, like lines windows and doors with salt.
Mm-hmm.
She's got iron locks and hinges on everything. Like, this is more of a nightly ritual, but she sort of like beefs it up a little bit this time, you know, like lays the fire poker in front of the door to her bedroom, like just in case, keep everybody safe. And I think she, you know, makes a little bedroll out of a quilt and lays on the floor.
Amazing. Okay, yeah, so you have secure in Mora's shop. You await for the coming dawn and whatever that may bring. And that's it for this episode of Chicago Fae, a production of Twice Rolled Tales. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for playing. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Patreon. Everything's down below in the description. If you want to find out more about what may have happened to Spitz and Phineas in the events preceding Chicago Fae, you can check out our module, The Iron Horse, which is everything you need to bring the world of Chicago Fae to life with your own table. Thank you. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.
And see you tomorrow.
We'll see you when we see you.
We'll
we don't
see
know
when
when
we
we
see you. See you
Check
later.
the production schedule.
in the sidebar.
Yeah, it'll tell you.
Click the next one.
But it's regular. It's regular. All right. Good night.